And in the depths of my addiction, I was extremely irresponsible with my finances. But to suggest that is grounds for an impeachment inquiry is beyond the absurd. It's shameless. There is no evidence to support the allegations that my father was financially involved in my business because it did not happen.
So somebody explain, two things. The emails and business partners that have come out and made mention that Joe Biden benefited from Hunter Biden's business deals in Ukraine, Chinese deals, and the like. And then Joe Biden was considered to be the big guy, getting paid 10% of negotiations that were leveraged in Hunter's favor on behalf of Joe Biden as vice president. Now, I'm going to say this very clearly. People on our side are telling us they have evidence. They're telling us the proof is in the pudding. They are telling us that they see transactions that were suspicious enough to have the accounts on the IRS radar, and they have all these transactions between Joe Biden and Hunter Biden that only suggest one thing, and that's that there was some involvement there between Hunter and Joe. If somehow, some way that we don't produce that evidence, then the joke's on us. And that crackhead who you just heard spoke gets the victory. And I'm hoping that we don't do this again. When I say do this again, we do a lot of talking but not producing enough evidence. And therefore we look stupid in the end. Okay, let's move on. It's another clip about Hunter Biden, clip 2.
MAGA Republicans, including members of the House committees who are in a closed-door session right now, have impugned my character, invaded my privacy, attacked my wife, my children, my family, and my friends. They have ridiculed my struggle with addiction, they have belittled my recovery, and they have tried to dehumanize me, all to embarrass and damage my father, who has devoted his entire public life to service.
Says the man who, can I be real with y'all, banged his dead brother's wife. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. They tried to make fun of my addiction. Bro, you don't get a pass because you high all the time. You don't get a pass because you smoking crack. And you just get to do whatever you want to do and nobody's going to say anything about your character. Your brother died and you were having sex with his wife. You know how crazy that is? Do you know how crazy that is? Somebody had a list of his expenses. He spent like $200,000 on porn. Hookers. I think he spent like $100 and some thousand on porn and he spent like $300,000 on hookers. If you didn't want people criticizing and ridiculing you, don't present as a public figure. Don't present as a public figure. When I say that, I mean you're outwardly and openly flying on Air Force One at the time, Air Force Two, or Air Force One now, Air Force Two then. Your face all in the limelight with your daddy. You flying, making deals and doing all this stuff. If you didn't want your personal reputation to be damaged, you shouldn't have been doing none of that. But you put yourself out there. And ladies and gentlemen, don't let the speechwriter fool you. Somebody wrote a speech for him to try to sound cute. You can't just bypass that. You left laptops and stuff. Oh, like you're a danger. You're a hazard. You're an embarrassment to the country and your family. And Joe Biden had everything to do with that. They try to act like there's a separation. You didn't know your son was making hundreds of millions of dollars, or it ain't hundreds of millions. Your son was making tens of millions of dollars from foreign governments while you were the vice president. Listen, y'all, there's no way in the world. They think we stupid. It's no way my son is making money like that. And I'm the second in charge in the country, and I had no idea. I've been knowing my son my whole life, and I don't know that he's a multimillionaire from deals that he made after flying with me on Air Force Two. I'm just oblivious and unaware that my son came with me to Ukraine and ended up making a deal to make millions. And then there's a message saying 10% to the big man. And I don't know who the big man is. He just put money in my pocket. I don't know why he was doing it. Come on, man. Y'all need to stop. Here's Representative Comer, clip 3.
The president's son, that we expect him to come in and be deposed. This is a normal process in an investigation. This has been a serious, credible, transparent investigation from day one. We've published 4 bank memorandums. We've had countless press conferences. This is an investigation about public corruption at the highest levels. We have accumulated mountains of evidence that's concerning to an overwhelming majority of Americans. We have specific questions in there, and I think we're going to allow you in there to see the piles and piles of documents, of bank statements, of emails, of text messages that we've worked very hard on in this committee over the last 8 or 9 months. We expect to depose the president's son, and then we will be more than happy to have a public hearing with him.
Let's hear from Jim Jordan, clip 4.
We're disappointed that he didn't show up. I mean, he was just across the way at the Capitol. You think he could have come here and set the question. If you do it in an open format now, you're going to get filibusters, you're going to get speeches, you're going to get all kinds of things. What we want is the facts, and the way you get the facts in every single investigation I've been involved in is you bring people in for an interview behind closed doors where you can get those facts. And then, as the chairman said, we'd love for him to come public. Finally, I would say this. Mr. Biden's counsel and the White House have both argued that the reason he couldn't come for a deposition was because there wasn't a formal vote for an impeachment inquiry. Well, that's going to happen in a few hours. We think it's going to pass. We think the House of Representatives will go on record with the power that solely resides in the House to say we are in an official impeachment inquiry phase of our oversight. And when that happens, we'll see what their excuse is then. They should have been here today, but once we take that vote, we expect him to come in for his interview, for his deposition. And frankly, we'll also, I think, look at contempt proceedings as we move forward.
Come on, Republicans. Hurry up. Get it done.